Alright, so I'm going to teach you how to do Sabre. I'm going to do this kind of quick because my video has to be 15 minutes less to post on YouTube. So first you need an untaped Sabre, white tape, Sharpie, scissors if you can't cut tape, grip tape, and a ruler is sometimes necessary unless you have another Sabre to compare your Sabre to find where the catch tape is. If not, you'll need a ruler. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to start by putting a piece of tape from about here to here on the bottom. I'll come back with it done. So you just finished this. It should go all the way around the bottom, but only coming up a little bit. It will help you when it's rotating the air. You'll be able to see it better. You want this on the bottom end, so you want your hilt facing up, and you want the tape on the bottom part. So next, you're going to take your white tape, and you're going to start, oh sorry, there's a lot of hair on this. And you're going to pick whichever direction you want. So you can you're going to go on an angle, like, you will end up making like X's. So you're going to want to start on whichever direction you want to go. I am going to go this way to start, doesn't matter. So you're going to go like this, and then you're going to wrap it around on an angle so it continues going down. You want it, okay, this is going to be really hard to see, but whoop, see how you can see that white line of the tape overlapping? You want that, not too big because then it will become really bad, but just about that size. Whoop. There you go, just about that size, that's all you want. And you want to continue wrapping all the way down the Sabre. I'll come back with me doing it really fast. Woo. So I'm just pressing down the last piece of tape here. So now you see that this is all going one direction. They're about the same size. Obviously I'm not going to be perfect because this one's like bigger and this one's smaller, you know. It just kind of is what it is, but they're all going the same direction. They're all about the same size. And it goes down to here, but it doesn't cover it up at the end. It's fine. You don't have to go that far. Same with the tip. If there's still some gray at the top, it's fine because we'll be covering both those up in the meantime. So now take the piece of tape again. And since you went one direction, now you have to do it the opposite direction that you went the first time. So the reason I cut off that video because I just had an existential crisis because I forgot how to tape a Sabre. So we're back. So so you did it right. But this time we're gonna go from the bottom instead of we just went from the top. And usually, I can't remember. I have horrible memory. I'm sorry. So I'm trying to think if you start from the bottom, but never mind. I'm teaching you this way, you're gonna learn it this way. Okay, so you're gonna go from the bottom, and you're gonna wanna take the bottom loop, so this one, and you're gonna line it up corner to corner, like this. See how those two corners are touching? And you're gonna wanna wrap up. And the reason I was having an existential crisis was because I was trying to figure out how to wrap up from the top. So then you're gonna go from here, woo! And you see how you're just touching the corner here? And so that's where the V shape comes in. And that's how you get that V. And you want them to all look like V's. So then you're going to do it again. And you can see under the tape here, you can see a little V. It's way easier to see in person. Why is it not so? Then you're going to put one here. My forehead's big. It makes a good hand. And so then this here makes the V. And you're just going to keep wrapping it up like that, and you're just gonna keep wrapping it up. Okay? So you'll see me doing it fast because time lapse. Woo! Alright, so we're just finishing the last piece of tape. So now it should look like this. So if you look really close, we're gonna put it to my forehead again, see if I can, there we go. Why is it not focusing? I'm sorry. So you can see how it does this W or V pattern, as I like to call it, and that's because you lined up the corners, this corner with the corner of the other one, and it should look like that all the way to the top, all the way to the bottom. Alright, so we're gonna do the bottom first. So you're just gonna take a piece of tape. See, the reason why I think I did this wrong is you're supposed to start with the like the first one, instead of starting at the top, you start at the bottom and work your way up, and then you work your way back down. But I really don't think it matters. Still makes the V shape, still does everything just fine. Just this part's a little different. So you just take it and you line your piece of tape up with the very bottom so it covers that up, and then you're going to want to wrap this around about 2 to 3 times. Only 2 to 3 times. If you do it anymore, it's going to be way too thick. So you're just going to wrap this around a couple times. Cut the tape, sorry, my Sabre fell. This is not very good to shoot. So then, you're going to write your initials with your black Sharpie. Not too big. You're going to write your initials on both sides. The tape is not very flat. That's because it's way easier to see if you do that. Then people know whose is yours. Okay, so now we're gonna do the tip. The tip's a little harder. So you're gonna take a piece of tape. People do this all different ways. I like to do it about from a shoulder. If you reach your arm all the way, my hair, If you reach from your shoulder to your hand, you're gonna want about that much tape, maybe a little more, especially for your first time, so you're probably gonna want a little more. And you're just gonna cut it. So, I'm gonna stand up in a second, so I'm gonna move you. Ooh, all right, so now I'm standing. You're gonna take a piece of tape and you're just gonna tape it to the wall. I know. And then you're gonna grab the end and you're gonna roll it. Oh my gosh, there's so much hair in it. You're gonna roll it like this. Like you're making one of those double-sided piece of tapes. And then you're just gonna continue to roll that all the way to the top. Now this is because this is what goes under your tape. Like this is what helps your tip so it doesn't break. Sorry, I'm talking to myself in my mirror because I feel weird not. Okay, I'm gonna make this a super speedy one. All right. Sorry, I forgot to move you before. I saw this. Now you have your snake rope, or whatever you want to call it. Your sticky snake rope, whatever. So you're gonna start about a thumb's width down, not like a full thumb, just like the top part. And you're just gonna put it horizontal. I'm smart. You're gonna put it horizontal and you're gonna start wrapping up just a little bit, like you would for a flag. And then you're gonna go down, and you're gonna go back up. This is what's making it thick. You really want this thick because if you throw blade tosses, and if you're like me throwing blade tosses, you're gonna break your tip a lot. So, now once you've wrapped it up and down a couple times, but you still have plenty of rope left, you're gonna wanna flip it so it's sitting on top, like a little pillowcase. Ooh. I know it probably didn't make sense, but that's what my analogy my brain came up with. And you're gonna wanna fold it up and over a couple times to make a soft padding for when you drop blade tosses. It'll make a soft padding like that. So if you see, it's stacked up a little bit. Focus on this. Okay, then, my hair. You're gonna wanna wrap around that padding like this to make sure it doesn't fall off, you know? And then you're just gonna wrap down and up and down and up, so this part becomes thick like, with 2 C's, sorry, that was a joke. Thick like the top is, so it all looks like one little thing that's not bulging at the top. So it's all even. You're just gonna keep wrapping it. That's why I prefer more, especially for newer people, because then if you drop it, it's more likely not to split open. Okay, there's a lot of hair wrapped up in this, but that's fine. It gives it personality. So, so much hair. So it's gonna be wrapped like that. Ta-da! So it's all covered and it's thick. So then you're gonna grab your tape and just like a flag, you're gonna go over the top, like a bolt of a flag. But you're gonna start a little lower, so lower than the thing. Ooh, you can't really see it. And you're gonna come up and over once. Chop it off because I can't rip tape, and I'm proud of that. Will not be ashamed of not being able to rip tape. Then you're gonna take another one, and you're gonna go over back. You're gonna make an X, like this. This is also securing the tape, plus then it won't be sticky for any other people. And just like a flag, the next step is just like wrapping at the tip of a flag, not the bolt. You are going to wrap it around. However, there's something a little special about this because you have to line it up with your Sabre wraps that you already did beforehand, so it looks all congruent. Is that the word? I don't know. Again, not smart. Maybe an AP Lang. That doesn't mean I'm smart. Okay, so take your tape. You're going to start at the bottom, and you're going to find one of these V's that you just made, preferably close to where the tape is, and you're going to line up to the V. Oh my gosh, there's so much hair. It's gross. And you're going to wrap up like you were just wrapping it for the V's. Make sure you're still lining it up, leaving that space in there to make it a V. You're going to wrap all the way up, and just like a flag, then you're going to come back down. So you just wrap to the top, and you're going to wrap it back down, but this time you're going to line up to make that V. So we're making the V shape. Okay? And you want to make sure you're covering all of the tape. So I like to go one extra on the second V. And you're just going to cut it off here. And now you have your tip done. So it should be wrapped like that. It should create V's so it looks symmetrical. Now, I don't know what the word is, but you know. So it looks all good. Yes, some of it's sticking out, but yeah. So it's all good. Lastly, we're almost done here. Sorry, my dogs are barking in the background. I don't know if you can hear them. You're going to take your ruler, and I measured it beforehand because I didn't even know this. It's about 10 inches from the, It's from the tip. So it's going to be about 10 inches down is where your catch tape is going to be, and you're going to want to just wrap it around about 3 times. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. It's kind of all how you prefer. I prefer 3 to 4 times wrapping it. It's just all kind of what you prefer. Don't make it too thick and don't make it too thin. So you don't want to make it so thick that it's like way out there, because then it's just awful to try and catch. And you don't want to make it too thin where you can't feel it, because you don't want to be looking at your hands every time you're catching it. So I like to make it 3 or 4 wraps long. And you want to make sure they're right on top of each other so you can't tell that there's different pieces of tape there. You just have it all one. So there you go. You have your completed Sabre now. And now you know how to retape it every time. However, you don't always have to retape the full thing. You usually only have to retape the top layer of the tape. So the first layer that we did doesn't usually have to get retaped unless you let it get so bad that you have to retape it. And so I suggest if you see the top of your tape starting to rip, just redo the top layer instead of redoing both layers. So hopefully you did the bottom layer really nice. Have a good day. That's how to tape a Sabre.